The next class is the class aves. As you can see over here, what we find is that this class is having all the birds. So, all the birds are going to be categorized in this particular class of vertebrates. What is to be kept in mind is that they breathe from lungs, and that is similar to the previous class that we had discussed, that is class Reptilia. They also breathe from lungs, and these organisms also breathe from their lungs. Secondly, one thing more you have to keep in mind, that these are birds basically, and there is a saying that birds are glorified reptiles. Now, why do I say that? You would find scales in birds in the feet. You must have observed that the feet of the bird, they have scales. The eggs of the bird are similar to those of reptiles. It's just that the forelimbs of the reptile, they have been modified into the wings. So, this is what we see in the case of the birds, that they are glorified reptiles in a way that they have scales present in their limbs, that is hind limbs, which are the two limbs present in the case of the birds. The forelimbs are modified into the wings, and they are provided with feathers, and often the birds are capable of flight. There are few flightless birds like ostrich, kiwi is there, emu is there are many birds which do not fly, but almost all of the birds, if I say that we have to take the entire species of the birds, 90% of them would be able to fly, and that is because they have wings, which is nothing but the modified forelimbs, and that is why they are called glorified reptiles. In your higher classes, you are going to study more characteristics which just align them in a closer category to the reptiles as compared to those of mammals, which is the next class. Now, they are glorified reptiles, but one thing is different, that because reptiles were cold-blooded, they are not that much diversified. These organisms, they are warm-blooded. They have four-chambered heart. When we discuss about the classes and when we are discussing about the animal kingdom, we have seen that the complexity has increased. Moreover, how the complexity increases, that also has a link with the previous class that we discussed about. So, the previous class had the four-chambered heart. There was advent of four-chambered heart in the case of crocodile. So, these organisms are going to have four-chambered heart. As they had lungs, they are also going to have lungs. They are going to lay eggs. Most of them are terrestrial, not most of them. All of them are terrestrial. No bird lives underwater. They cannot survive underwater because they breathe from lungs. Now, when you breathe from lungs, you need to come out to take the air. You cannot take inside the dissolved oxygen. You don't have skin for the respiration as in the case of frogs. So, this is all about class aves, that is to be kept in the mind. As you can see in this picture, there are so many examples of the birds given over here. You have a duck, you have jays and sparrows, you have vulture, the huge birds of prey, and you have these duckbills, then you have those, all these are birds basically that are given over here. The simplest examples are pigeon, then we have peacock, then we have sparrows, we have jays, we have hornbills, and many more examples. And the largest bird is ostrich, which is flightless, and it lays the largest egg as well. Turkey is a bird. The non-vegetarian students can relate that how much birds do they consume when they eat lots and lots of chicken. So, all these are the animals which belong to the category of class aves.